Where's the national? They already did the Pledge of Allegiance? Richmond. Oh yeah, Pledge of Allegiance. You're gonna take a new one.
Oh, that one.
You know, it has to be certified by December 6th. I don't know if any information is going to be released before then. I hope so.
Should be. No reason to delay that.
Wow, I just realized their December meeting is during finals week. That's annoying.
It is. Is it during finals week or the week before?
December 13th.
Oh, it is. Okay. All right.
Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Report from closed session. No action was taken during closed session. Thank you for being patient until we return. All right. Are there additions or changes to the agenda? No. Right. We will move to our presentations. The October Student of the Month.
Cindy, you're going to live and listen. You two are birds of a feather.
Okay, great.
Good evening, all. I'm Kerry Coburn, Professor of Biology. First of all, I would like to credit Joey Merritt and the other members of the Student of the Month Committee for the fine work they do. It is my pleasure to congratulate Melissa Land for selection as the Merced College October Student of the Month. Melissa was a student in my introductory biology course and was one of my highest achieving students during the spring 2016 semester. Melissa's drive to learn and dedication to achieve provided both her classmates and me with inspiration. Melissa's attitude helped to shape the positive attitude I felt coming from the class as a whole. Melissa was one of the only a handful of students that earned an A grade in that course that semester. Melissa was born and raised in Mariposa. She grew up as an active member of 4-H and graduated from high school at age 17. After high school, she attended the Kitchen Academy for the Culinary Arts and graduated with honors. After marrying her high school sweetheart, she helped to open a restaurant in Mariposa, but realized that she wanted more for her life and for her family. She decided that Merced College was where she wanted to be. Good choice. Melissa is a wife and mother of 2 young children. She's right over there. Her husband is an Army veteran who served in Iraq. Thank you, sir, for your service. Melissa has a passion for raising livestock and riding horses, and this is something her family does on a daily basis. This last summer, she and the kids planted a garden with all sorts of vegetables. Each day they would take care of the garden and harvest the crop. They also have a wide variety of animals: 3 horses, 2 cats, 1 dog, and 27 chickens. She is currently pursuing dual degrees, an AA in General Agriculture and an AS in Animal Science, and maintains a 3.7 GPA. She plans to continue on to Fresno State University to study agricultural education. She plans on acquiring her master's degree at Cal Poly and then teaching agriculture. She wants to teach her children and her community, quote, how important agriculture is and how it brings communities together. In this brief statement, I hope I have conveyed how impressed I am with Melissa's current academic accomplishments, as well as her future potential as an educator and scientist. I would certainly welcome her back someday as a colleague at Merced College. Melissa's academic achievements and optimistic nature combine to make her a model student and a pleasure to teach. These characteristics reflect the attributes sought in our Students of the Month, and it is my pleasure to congratulate Melissa for this distinction and wish her all the best in her future academic and career aspirations. Melissa, would you like to come up and receive your certificate?
Homeschooled, this is my first in-classroom experience, and I've enjoyed every moment of it, and Merced College has given me the tools that I needed to succeed, so I can, when I continue to push forward and do the best that I can and succeed for my family, and when I say thank you to them for their love and support as well. So, thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you for adding to the high quality here at Merced College.
Thank you.
We now need to hear about the November Student of the Month.
Hi, I'm Professor Michael Barb. I teach English, and I'm one of the coordinators of the BoT program. I mentioned that because that's how I first met Tiffany, and it's a pleasure to actually give this honor to Tiffany. I was her instructor for BoT, and she was an incredible student. She was often far ahead of her peers in the class, and as such, I recommended her to become my SI for the next year. And all of last year, she was a supplemental instructor for the BoT program. And she would have continued this year, except scheduling didn't allow for it. So unfortunately, we lost her as part of the BoT program. But I just want to say, Tiffany has come a long way. I'm not going to talk about all that she's achieved and overcome, but believe me when I say she's achieved and overcome so much. And I have every confidence that she will continue to succeed and achieve wherever she goes. I know she's applied to a couple of schools, CSU Fresno and CSU Stanislaus. And she wants to pursue a degree in business, and I know she'll be successful at that. She'll be successful at it. Being the SI, I recognize that I think she could even, if she wanted to, be an instructor and teach, if she really wanted to. That's a hint. Not a bad gig. You get to do things like this, and it's just an honor to give her this award. So, without any further ado, I just want to say, Tiffany, congratulations. Here's your award.
Which one is Tiffany?
Tiffany's the little one.
Nobody told me that I had to say anything when I got here, so I'm not ready for any of that.
Never stopped you.
But thank you very much for nominating me, and thank you for this opportunity, and it means the world to me. I never win anything, so I'm pretty excited when I found out about this. All right, thank you.
Congratulations, Tiffany, on that fine achievement.
Thank you.
And you know what I think is very wonderful? Here we have people who have a lot of other responsibilities, especially with little ones, and here you are achieving here at the college, and we're very proud of you. You really add to what's best here. Thank you. so much. Congratulations.
Good evening, trustees, VPs, faculty, staff, students, community members. My name is Tom Trendad, and I'm your Chief of Police for the Campus Police Department, here to present the annual security report and crime statistics for you. Unfortunately, this came about because of the tragedy. Some of you that may have not know what had happened, this young lady was unfortunately raped and murdered on a college campus, and there was details that the parents were unaware of, or even Ms. Cleary was unaware of. So this started from the fact that educational institutions are responsible for notifying campus members and community members of any incident that's occurred and to report criminal stats. Some of the crime acts are the same that are reported for any community in the United States or any city or county. Murder, robbery, rape, motor vehicle theft, incest, burglary, arson, hate crime. These are just all of the crimes that are required, or what they consider Part 1 felony crimes. College must disclose their security policies, maintain a public crime log, publish an annual crime report, and provide timely warning to students and campus employees about crime posing an immediate and ongoing threat to students and campus employees. What I do for timely notification, we've started having crime mapping. Strongly encourage you to go onto the website. It's a great tool, and it lets you know immediately, or well, not immediately, but soon after, as it enters into the system, when a crime has occurred on the campus, and it will actually, you can set it up to 500 feet around the campus to let you know of incidents. In fact, myself, on my cell phone, I have it so that I get alerted even when there's incidents that occur, not necessarily on the campus, but around it. It's a very powerful tool. Just to let you know too, is in the plans, we are having a daily log that we're going to start putting up on the Campus Police Department website, so that anybody that comes onto the police department's website will be able to look at it and see a running log of calls that we handled during the time that we're out here at college. Victims' rights, they have the they have others present at disciplinary hearings. She'll be informed of the outcomes of any campus disciplinary procedures. Law enforcement assistance, notification, special counseling, change to schedule or living arrangements, if reasonably available, and confidentiality of name and identifying information. We're very conscientious of victims' rights to privacy and will jealously guard them. The Campus Violence Elimination, or SAVE Act, requires that incidents of domestic violence, dating, violence, sexual assault, stalking be disclosed in the annual crime and statistic reports. Victims do have a right to obtain and enforce a restraining order or a no contact directive, and additional education is provided. As you can see, these are also posted throughout the campus, and we work quite closely with the victim assistance here at our Valley Crisis Center here on campus. Arcelia is a partner, and we talk also with our health services as well. Great partnership that we've developed. We also, this year, we started our self-awareness class, or self-defense class. I can say the first one was a success. Everybody that attended, they had a great time, and it teaches awareness as well as some ability to defend yourself if you're attacked. Here are some of our reporting crimes. As I mentioned, these are what they call Part 1 crimes. This is reported to the FBI, as well as that we keep them. As you can see, for the statistics this year is 2015. And we had 1 robbery reported on campus, 1 aggravated assault, and we had 3 motor vehicle thefts. That's auto theft, taking of a motor vehicle. Established in 2014, our domestic violence, we had 1 this year, or last year, 2015. And we also had a special category arrest. We had 1 arrest for domestic violence, or I'm sorry, domestic violence and property crime in 2015. California Senate Bill 186, the bill would authorize the governing board of the community college district to remove, suspend, or expel students for sexual assault or sexual exploitation. We have had one incident. We did make notification, and this was a sexual battery that occurred on campus. And very proud of the way our office handled it, and Officer Rowe did an outstanding job in the investigation and immediately handling that incident. Any questions for me? Yes, ma'am.
I was appalled to learn today that with the passage of 57 written into it in tiny print, that rape became a misdemeanor. And a couple other things. Will that change what you will be doing?
No, we still look at it, even though that the legislature may look at it as being a nonviolent crime, the way they've written it. We're still going to look at it as a violent crime. We understand the devastating effect, as a father of a daughter, and of course being married and having a wife. That's one of the most horrible things that I think that could possibly happen to somebody in such a setting. No, we will take it extremely serious. It'll still be investigated to the fullest extent to the power of the community college as well as the police department, Merced Police Department.
The Clery Act is a federal law, so while maybe the state has gone in a different direction, we still have to follow the federal law. Yeah, California did, but the Clery Act is a federal law.
Are there any other questions or comments? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Accreditation, self-evaluation report.
All right, good evening. You all have, I believe in your packet, a copy, cover looking like this, of the latest draft of the self-evaluation report for the college. This is really a draft prior to final copy that the board will receive in December. But I wanted to present this to the board this evening so you'd have an opportunity to review the document. If there are any questions or concerns that may arise through your review, you certainly, by all means, should contact my office and bring those to my attention. As you know, and as I've mentioned here before, the document before you really represents about 2 years of work on behalf of faculty, administrative staff, classified professionals, and students. And it really is a work of a large collection of authors. There are over 35 authors that were involved, primary authors involved in writing the document, and many, many contributing individuals as well. The work really picked up the tempo during the last 2 months or so, and we've really been able to bring this document to the next level and closure here very quickly. And as you all know, this document will be sent to ACCJC by the end of December, and it is the document that the team that is to visit the college in March will read before they actually come to campus to talk to folks and create their own report regarding operations here at the college. So I'm actually very proud of this document. It reflects a great deal of work on behalf of the folks I've mentioned. Many, many hours have been put into this document. And again, during the December board meeting, you will receive a final copy that will be submitted to ACCJC.
Thank you very much. Are there any comments or questions from the board?
I tried to speed read a lot of this afternoon, and I knew there was a lot of work, but you just have to thank everybody. Nobody realizes how much work this is.
Absolutely.
And I sometimes wonder if perhaps it could be better spent doing something else, but as long as the state requires you to do.
Yes. Thank you.
Any other comments? Our thanks to you and to all those who participated in bringing this to this point.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, college bookstore update.
Good evening. As part of the board policy, it's required that we bring to you a report a specific report on the bookstore every year. And the last few years, this has not been a particularly pleasant thing to bring. But this year, we've got some really good news. Now, you've already heard it. We had a little spoiler alert when we did the budget presentation. But we are in much better shape at this. Whoops. Where's the... There we go. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the 5-year historical data, which is really exciting this time. The outcomes of 15-16, what changes have already been implemented, and then strategies that will impact the current year outcomes. So we're going to just jump right in here. And I'm going to take the happy slide because this one is really very cool. You see the income line there in 15-16 crossing over for the first time in a very long time the expense line. Now, equity is still in a negative position, but as we move out of this, we should be seeing that rise again. So this is a very, very good trend, and we're hoping that it will continue. And based on what the work that Robin has done, I have every confidence that we'll continue to go in a good direction. I'll give Joe the tiny numbers.
Yes, thank you very much. Good evening. I know some of these numbers are a little hard to see, but this just illustrates over the last 5 years a historical comparison of where we are with the bookstore. Really, only a few numbers that I wanted to point out. This percentage right here, the 6.4% between the 2 years, that shows the increase of net sales for the bookstore. And then when you combine that with the decrease in the net cost of goods sold, decreased over 2.5%, the combination of those created a net income for the year, contributed greatly to the net income for the year. And then we also had an increase in bookstore rentals over and above 14-15, so that was a huge contributor as well. And then this row down here, you can see going back to 11-12, the consecutive years of net losses or deficit spending that we had. And in 15-16, we actually broke even and had a net income of $15,000. So that was, even though it's not very much, it was very positive news compared to the prior years. And as Dr. Schultz just mentioned, we do have, we still are operating in a negative equity position at this point, but it has started moving in the right direction. And so Robin Puro will talk about some of the changes that have been implemented that contributed to those increased numbers.
Thank you. Hello. This is a good time to be in front of this mic right now. But there were several factors that improved, and mainly the largest one, I think, was the science and math department partnering with us for a rental program. It not only benefited the bookstore, but it also benefits the students. And then, as I mentioned before, the Health 10 course, there's like, what, 18, 20 sections. They were the first ones to come on board, and we're like in our 7th year now with them. And we're starting to pick up little faculty, here and there, odds and ends, but it's making an impact. Plus, we had several larger purchase orders come through this last year from the library and different programs on campus that although we offered some reduced prices, it's still, something's better than nothing. It was better to keep it on campus than send it off campus. And then we're still continuing work with standardizing textbooks. In fact, it was funny, I got an email yesterday from the math department. They're going to make a huge change here coming up, and it's not only going to benefit the bookstore, but with the changes that they're making with the access codes, it's going to also benefit the students, which is our ultimate goal here. And then there's been a couple of other, like it says, they're keeping the staff to a minimum. We have had some vacancies and absences, and we're kind of moving up now, getting that filled, so we're going to pretty soon here be back 100%. So it'll give me more time to go out and seek out more faculty, explaining the program with them, and it's like a win-win situation. Does anybody have any questions?
Are there any questions from the board or comments?
There's more. Oh, okay.
Oh, there is more.
Well, you can ask questions. Yeah.
these are more strategies. Oops. These are additional strategies that Robin is utilizing to help make the bookstore even more profitable and continue to keep the prices at minimum for the students. So she's continuing with the ebook selections, increasing the book rentals where she can, keeping a good supply of used textbooks on hand, and we're also trying to look at a copy center. This is something that we have talked about. One of the things that we had hoped to bring this evening was an idea about how we were going to refurbish the bookstore. We've had a couple of plans for that. They are way outside of our price range, so we're going to have to go back to the drawing board and take a look at what might be done at a cost that we can actually afford, and not the $5 million that was proposed. So we have some work to do on that. Anyway, we will be continuing to monitor Joe and his team have actually begun, and Robin as well, begun to implement the Wind Prism software system, which will help give us actual bookstore financial information rather than the guesses that we've had to do until year end, because our software packages do not capture cost of goods sold. So we were waiting till the end of the year to figure out what the cost of everything was that we sold. So this is a wonderful addition, and they're implementing it now. They started. They've been to the training. All the account codes are set up. So we're getting ready to start actually using the new system. We had a merchandising assessment from Nebraska, and they are ready to provide us an interior for the bookstore. We just have to give them what the layout of the parameters that they're going to be working in will be, and then they'll be able to set up some plans for us. We continue to dialogue with the campus on options. We have not met with the bookstore committee because everyone has been extremely busy this fall, but we'll pick that back up again in the spring. Well, there was the option for expansion. We actually do have some ideas from Darden on what the bookstore might look like in an expanded capacity, which looks pretty good, and we might actually be able to afford some of those. So there's some good news in all of this. Now, questions. Joanne, it's all right.
Any questions? Comments? Well, first of all, comment. Good job on the movement forward.
Thank you.
From negative to positive.
Yeah.
My question: Can you elaborate on this negative equity? What would you call it? Equity is going down. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more? What does that mean?
What it means is, over the years, we as an institution made a conscious decision to continue to support the bookstore through these really tough times. And what happened was there was equity. I don't know if it shows it in there or not. But with the continued losses, we went into a negative equity position. Pull it back up again.
Thank you, Joanne. What does that mean? We consider that a held debt for the bookstore? Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Accumulated the debt?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a reason we do this just for the bookstore and not for other areas on campus?
The bookstore is an enterprise fund, and it is supposed to make a profit, but it was a conscious decision on the part of the campus to uphold it while it went through these instead of closing it down. That's the option. Or sell, or rent, or lease, or any number of other things that we've talked about over the past years. And generally there aren't that many profit centers on campus. We wouldn't consider an academic area to be a loss center. That's just what we do. But this is supposed to generate a profit, and it hasn't for a while. So we're very excited that it is, and it's moving in the right direction. And if we can get a new, at least a refurbished facility for them relatively soon, they should pick up and get all of their operations in one place instead of scattered all over campus, that has a tendency to drive down the ability to make a profit when you have some sales in the bottom of the Lesher, and you've got some in the other side of the student union. You've got to staff those with people. You're not really drawing traffic through the bookstore, which is, of course, what we all know about marketing. Well, I know about marketing, but I know you have to have foot traffic to maintain your sales.
Thank you.
Gary, you have a question or comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you, Mr. Allison and Dr. Schultz, and Robin Piro. I want to tell you, I've been here for 4 years, and there's been this cloud over the bookstore, and you have persevered. I wanted to thank you publicly for not giving up on and taking it as a challenge, personal challenge, and working through and adapting to whatever you had to do. And I know over the course of the years we've had conversations about ideas and things that you wanted to do. And I just want to commend you for persevering, and I hope that it just continues to go up. And I want to thank you for all the hard work, because I know it was very difficult, and I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the report. Okay, board, we have the consent agenda. Is there anything that any of you feel needs to be lifted for discussion or consideration? If not, we will. Second. Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve and accept the consent agenda as printed. Any discussion? Any comment from the audience? All right. We will vote.
We're in jeopardy either.
Desiree? Vote yes. It looks like it's very popular. We passed it unanimously. To the board for consideration, discussion, or action, second reading of board policies.
Thank you very much. These were policies that were brought to you at the last meeting. These are now for second reading and approval. These were all policies that went through College Council and were sent forward by consensus of College Council.
Do we have a motion?
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we approve the second reading of the board policies. Any comments from the audience? Questions?
President Jordan, looking at the second reading of one of the board policies we presented to you, I am realizing we left out a few crucial words, and I'm wondering if we could do a friendly acceptance of those. When you look at standards of conduct, board policy 5500, the last added bullet says engaging and or committing other crimes as defined by local, state, and or federal laws. The important words are while on district property. We certainly can't take action on students if they committed a crime, unless it was sexual assault, which you heard today, and that's in here. But that particular bullet is there because sometimes we have students that do commit crimes that don't fall under the other standards of conduct while on campus. And unless that's there, we can't really take action. So I'm hoping that we can add the words with your acceptance while on district property, and I'm sorry we didn't recognize that earlier.
Okay, we have a motion to approve.
Can I ask for clarification? clarification on that?
Yes, okay.
If they're at, like on a field trip or at an event or something else that's sponsored by the college, does that fit under your words, or should it fit under any of our, should we figure out some of the verbiage for that?
Just fix it, bring it back.
I mean, there's other things, other places we are.
Yeah, that's a good point. District-sponsored activities while on district property and/or other district-sponsored activities.
That would be good for me.
Okay, let's go back.
I move that we add those words to our motion.
Yeah, I second.
Motion on the floor.
Okay, we need now to proceed to vote on this addition. Whether or not we're going to have it put in there. Desiree, how did you vote? Okay, the rest of us will vote.
Can they vote on that, or do they have to vote on that by voice?
We have to add it, so that, or do we need to?
Oh, she might not be able to do it on the computer, is what she
Well,
said.
you amended the motion that was on the floor.
So we're just going to do the amended motion.
Thank you.
We'll have to vote by voice on that amendment, because this is for the whole thing. Oh, she put it in there already.
Right.
Great. Even though we haven't voted on it.
Okay, it's unanimous. Now we need to vote on the amended board policy.
No, that was the motion as it
That
was
was-
amended.
that
It was a
covers it.
friendly amendment.
Because normally you had to go back.
So we're just passed off, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Let's see what we covered Bobby's rules on the take little liberties.
I'm very
Right.
honored to bring to the board a recommendation to name the aquatics area after Coach Bob Pollitt. Bob Pollitt was a colleague of mine for years and has happily moved into retirement. This idea, suggestion was brought to us by Scott McCall. Are you officially doctor now?
No, no.
Soon to be officially Dr. Scott McCall, and I've asked him to speak on this. If you would come and talk about why we want to do this.
Thank you. My name is Scott McCall, and I am the current head men's water polo coach and swimming coach here at Merced College. I've been coaching full-time and teaching here since 2005. And over the past 10 years, I've had the opportunity to put together an alumni game each year and invite alumni water polo players back to the program. And every year, the alumni come to me and they play for Coach Pollard, and they ask me if he's going to be there because they want to see him and talk with him. And this is just one example that speaks to the positive impact that he had on student athletes and demonstrates the relationships that he built that have lasted for a lifetime. For 25 years, he represented Merced College with integrity and character. His contributions to the water polo community were tremendous and can still be seen today. Many of his former students are coaching as a result, from Rod Parker at El Capitan, Kit Gratton at Merced High, Bill Gossett at Golden Valley, Chad Pereira at Atwater, Rick Martinez at Madera High, Steve Spear at Bullard, and many more. I was also fortunate to be one of those student athletes who played for Coach Pollard in 1995 and 1996. He was an amazing coach, not only because he knew how to push his athletes to achieve their best, but because he truly cared about them. He was influential, inspiring me to pursue my coaching. Coach Pollard was extremely successful. Coach having coached 33 water polo All-Americans, winning 2 Northern California championships, and was inducted into the California Community College Water Polo Hall of Fame.
His impact went beyond winning and success. He is a man who values strong moral character, commitment, work ethic, and a positive attitude. He taught these traits to the athletes by displaying them himself, day in and day out. Coach Paul cared more about his relationships he built with coaches and his student athletes than winning. He wanted them to not only succeed in the pool, but in life. Naming the Aquatic Center after Coach Bob Collett would not only recognize his service and the history of Merced College Aquatics, it would represent integrity, character, and the importance of building relationships with student athletes the way Coach did and still does. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you very much. Do we have a motion?
Second.